Hello, Chris here from the Compulsive Canadian Gamer. We're here with a special kind of unboxing today. As we've been sort of moving towards technology a little bit more on the blog and on our YouTube channel, I figured I would show you guys something particularly cool today. In the advent of the whole new revolution of 4K, both with the Xbox One S and the soon-to-be released PlayStation 4 Pro, both of these systems are moving towards the 4K generation. Now, not true 4K, more like 4K, which sort of takes a 1080p signal and sort of doubles the resolution, you know, bumping it up to sort of a 4K resolution. It's not truly being rendered natively. It's being upscaled. There's still significant advantages to that. Images are still crazy clear compared to what you get with 1080p. There's also the addition of HDR, which is coming up, which really helps adjust contrast and brightness and stuff like that, being able to see things in dark scenes. So where all that leads us is I've just recently picked up a new projector so that I can be reviewing 4K content, both movies, games, these new consoles that are coming out, and so on and so forth. So without a 4K projector, unfortunately, I wouldn't have a whole heck of a lot of opportunity to do that. So what I have here is the JVC DLA-X750R. This is a extremely high-end projector. We're talking MSRP of $7,000 US. So we're talking, you know, Canadian, the sort of the top end of the spectrum here, you know, almost $10,000. So this is, you know, sort of a projector that's, I don't want to say in a class of its own, but there's really only, you know, two other projectors on the market that even come close to competing with it. Epson does a laser projector that does a modified 4K, as well as Sony's true 4K projector that does 4K and HDR, and that runs about $15,000. So this unit itself is sort of weirdly the bottom end of the high end of the spectrum. You know, this isn't some $1,500 projector you go pick up at Best Buy. It is sort of top of the line. So what it does is it does have its own sort of 4K mode where it takes a signal and upscales it itself, and it essentially they call their technology 4K E-shift. And what that does is it takes, you know, your average pixel and it makes sort of it offsets another pixel next to it, and essentially doubling your resolution. So realistically, 4K is 8 times the resolution of 1080p, whereas a projector like this is about 4 times the resolution. Still far beyond anything that's sort of on the market right now, other than the one Sony player. And with the reviews that are out there, I've actually heard really positive things that this projector in particular actually outperforms the Sony projector. That's twice the price and is a true 4K projector. So that being said, I'll get to the unboxing here in a second. I will be doing a full review. If you guys are interested, please come over to thecompulsivecanadiangamer.com. It's probably going to take me a week or so, maybe 2 weeks to get the review up. There's a lot of calibration that needs to be done. There's a lot of things that, like these, when you get to a projector of this caliber, you don't just open the box and just hope for the best. There's a lot of calibration that goes into them. There's a lot of sort of professional level calibration. I've got calibration tools. I've got a USB device by Spider, or by Data Color, called the Spider 5, that's meant to directly tie into this device for doing calibration. So once everything is tweaked and together, I can finally do a proper review for you guys. One of the big things, especially considering this is a gaming blog, one of the main detractors that people have from the JVC line of projectors is the fact that these things have a very high input lag. Now, input lag, if you ask me, I believe it's hokum. I don't think that it's nearly as detrimental as people would have you believe. The majority of the reviews that I've read about JVC, this generation and the previous generation, the majority of professional reviewers, they're not gamers. So they haven't bothered to even test out what the impact of input lag would be. They see a straight number. JVC's numbers say that input lag on this projector is about 140 milliseconds. Where you can get monitors, you can get other projectors that are down around the 20-30 milliseconds, you get monitors that are down all the way to 2 millisecond. I think personally that it is extremely blown out of proportion. My last projector was a JVC as well, and I almost succumbed to this whole input lag is bad. I almost picked up an Epson instead of the JVC because everybody on AVS forum, everybody that reviewed the projector all swore, oh my god, this thing has such high input lag, you're never going to be able to play a game. It's unplayable were the words that were used. I'm a hardcore gamer. If you're taking a look at my blog, if you know what I'm about, I play 50, 60, 70, 80 games a year, online, offline, MMO, whatever. When I got the previous JVC, I didn't have a single issue with input lag. I play Final Fantasy XIV online, which, if any of you have tried that game and you start to get into the boss fights and the end game content, you know, like the high end level 60 content, you know that you have to have Twitch level accuracy to be avoiding boss combos and stuff like that, area of effect and whatnot. I have never had an issue with JVC, and I've never had an issue with input lag on any of these games. I maintain, you know, roughly a 1.5 to 2.1 kill death ratio when I play online, you know, Halo and Call of Duty and Battlefield and stuff like that. You would not be getting those kind of statistics if input lag was something that was seriously impacting your performance. So if that's the one deciding factor for you, if you take a look at this projector, and right now there's a baby brother to this. This is the 750R. There's a 550R out there that's about $3,000 cheaper. Its direct competition is a 4K Epson player, the new 5040 series and 6040 series. Input lag on that's about 30 milliseconds. So a lot of people have been sort of moving towards that projector away from the JVC because they hear all this doom and gloom. And again, I go back to the doom and gloom that's spread by people who haven't tried it, who aren't gamers. The people that are speaking out on the forums against it, they may be gamers, but they don't know what input lag is. At the end of the day, what input lag works out to, 140 milliseconds of input lag, which these projectors have, is 1/8 of a second difference in time. So when you press a button on a controller, 1/8 of a second, it'll take that sort of difference in time. So if I hit the jump button, the character on screen, the gun that I'm firing, will go off 1/8 of a second less than if you were using an Epson, for instance. So the way I sort of look at it is, if you are that caliber of gamer, that 1/8 of a second makes a difference between you getting a kill or you, whatever, jumping over a chasm or catching a ledge or getting a quick time event, you're in a class of your own. And I'd like to think, with the amount of gaming I do, that I'm kind of that bar. With the amount of games that I go through and the caliber of games that I play, I can't see it being detrimental to anybody. You may be more sensitive to it. That's not to say that there aren't some people who notice it. I've been gaming on projectors for close to 15 years, and input lag wasn't a thing until last year when I went to go look for the JVC that I have now. And I had never even heard the term before. So maybe I've become conditioned by using projectors all my life. I don't know. But I think it's one of those things that if you don't even know what you're looking for, and chances are it's not going to affect you. I wouldn't be surprised if you did a blind play test with somebody between a projector or a television that has over 100 milliseconds lag and something that has 10 milliseconds lag. I doubt even professional gamers would know the difference, personally. That's just me. I'm sorry I went off on a bit of a rant there. I wasn't expecting to do that because this is an unboxing video. But this is something that's just sort of, I'm a little bit impassioned about, because these projectors are absolutely, hands down, phenomenal. JVC has done an amazing job. They have the best contrast ratio in the industry. They have the best black levels in the industry. It's just, they're in a class almost unto themselves. The black levels and stuff that you'll get on this projector in particular, the Sony that's $15,000 doesn't even come close. Like it gets just trounced. So to let input lag be that deciding factor between getting a fantastic projector that'll look unlike anything that you've probably seen before, or getting something that's significantly less quality just so that you think that you're going to be able to game faster, don't do it. Honestly, go out, get the JVC. Alright, all that being said, let's get to the unboxing here. This thing is quite the beast. It weighs in at about 40 pounds. The box itself takes a little bit of the weight. The box there, the entire package weighs 42 pounds. I believe the projector is about 40 or 36, something like that. It's a really heavy unit. It's also rather large, so you're going to want to have a pretty big space set up. If you're going to be mounting this from the ceiling, universal ceiling mounts work. It's nothing that's too crazy. Not a whole lot that comes with this. Get your power cable, higher end power cable, your JVC remote, free set of batteries, Panasonic batteries. It's actually name brand, that's kind of nice. Alright, styrofoam here. And of course, your product manual. Highly advised to go pick this up online. It just makes it a hell of a lot easier to read. There's also, if you have picked up one of these projectors or are planning to pick up one of these projectors, I highly suggest that you head on over to the AVS forum. There's a dedicated thread to this guy. You're probably going to want to go through some of the calibration tricks that the group has been talking about. Again, they're not exactly plug and play. It's not like a TV where you just plop it on the wall and plug your console in. You got a lot of tweaking and stuff to do to make this look as good as it can. That being said, they still look good out of the box. So it's not like you're going to take this thing, plug it in, and it's going to look like garbage. It just can look a lot better than when it comes out of the box. Alright, so let's hoist this guy out here. Alright. Styrofoam away. Get this out of the way. Alright, you know what? Let's do this here. I'm not going to be able to see this very well. Alright. Okay, so we'll cut the tape here. One of the nice features about this projector too, it has a auto lens cover. The baby brother does not. So if you're kind of concerned with dust and stuff, it's kind of a nice little added feature. So you go to power it on, the lens cover, I'll show you the front here. The lens cover will retract into the housing itself and just sort of hide. So you don't, like I say, get that dust accumulation. So I don't have a whole lot to show you. These projectors themselves, you're going to get a heck of a lot more out of my review. There's not a whole lot that I can sort of show you here. I'll spin it around so you can see the back panel. But they're fairly bare bones, ultimately because they're not meant to do anything except project an image. So you've got HDMI 1 and 2, you've got a 3D emitter port, you got your RS 323 serial connection if you've got home automation like I do. This is sort of a godsend. You'll be able to turn it on in another room. My projector actually sits in its own AV room, so it's kind of tucked and hidden away from the actual theater itself. It's not mounted up in the ceiling or anything. So yeah, you'll want those kind of ports to do the remote control aspect of it. That's pretty much it. There's an Ethernet port on the back. the Precision, the 770, and actually this guy has a bigger brother too, the 990. Both of these guys use a specific piece of software from JVC, so you can actually control, you can do all your settings, you can do your upgrades and everything directly over the PC over Ethernet. So I highly advise, if you pick up one of these guys, wire it into your home network. I'm not sure if it has Wi-Fi. I don't believe so. I think it's just straight Ethernet, so you don't have to keep it plugged in to Ethernet all the time. When you're doing your calibration, when you're doing stuff like that, you're going to want to have it hooked up. But beyond that, ultimately, you don't necessarily have to keep it on all the time. I'm not 100% certain if you can control it via Ethernet. You may be able to. I'll find that out, and that'll be in the review as well. Yeah, it's mostly just for setting your colors, color temperatures, and your gamma, pardon me, and stuff like that. You can download color profiles online. There's also a ton of information at JVC's site how to calibrate this thing for HDR, because it's not like, we don't have calibration discs out yet. In the past, there's discs from Avaya, and there's discs, that sort of stuff. Or AV, I think it is. Anyways, there's a few different calibration discs out. Unfortunately, these guys don't have that capability. There's no 4K Blu-ray calibration disc that's available in the market. So you can't just pop in, 4K disc and configure your system like you used to be able to do with old projectors. So now you've kind of got to rely on these other tools. You got to rely on expertise from people online, as well as the data color spider, to kind of do these measurements for you. That's pretty much it. I know this was kind of an unconventional unboxing for you guys. Hopefully you got a little bit of something out of it. If you have any questions about projectors, audio, video, stuff like that, drop us a line on YouTube, come check us out on Facebook at The Compulsive Canadian Gamer, or come to our blog, compulsivecanadiangamer.com, and check us out. Like I say, if you want any advice, I'm up on AVS Forum under COFN, that's Charlie, October, Frank, Nancy, 42. If you got any questions for me, or if you want to check out the theater and stuff, all of my my pictures and build thread is up there as well. Alright, that's pretty much it for me. I'll catch you guys later. Thanks.